Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how they do not respect or like the authority you were given. They don't appreciate it. They don't want to acknowledge it out loud. And it's kind of funny because a lot of them look at us as though we shouldn't be in the positions that we're in spiritually. You may not be in the best position physically due to the team that you ride for, so you got a lot of oppositions working against you. But as far as where you are at in the spiritual realm, they know you have way too much authority and power in the spiritual realm. This is why they have to gang up on us, why it takes so many of them to kind of do even the slightest damage to us, because one of them cannot do it by themselves, which is why we have the system working on us. Then some of us have your parents or whoever is your caretakers when you were younger working on you. Then you have your spousals, which come next. We can all skip friends and siblings because that just, it kind of goes depending on your living situation and your circumstances. Some don't have siblings, so that doesn't apply to them. But everybody usually has some kind of spousal later on in life. And by the time they get to us, we done already experienced a bunch of gang stalking, people ganging up on us, you know, basically being the key definition of a targeted individual. And the thing that comes with, like, when you are being targeted because of your light and your glow, not targeted because I know that category comes with like a lot of people who just go off into the deep end, you know. They aren't doing anything spiritually, they aren't doing anything physically, but they feel like they are a targeted individual. I'm not speaking of those. I'm talking about the real ones who are actually out here making an impact in life, you know, for the ones that's around them and for the ones that they cannot reach but far out and they still have access to just due to their position in life, you know. You have been given authority a long time ago. It's kind of like when you see kings and queens and all these quote unquote royal families and things, and you are born into one of them, you're naturally going to have some kind of authority and power that most other beings won't have, even the ones that's your age and younger or your age and older. You just naturally do because of that positioning. It's the same thing in the spiritual realm. And we see what happens and what the other team likes to use and do on their free time and just anytime they feel like they want to start working some witchcraft. They have to start doing things, working up spells, you know, doing little weird things to put obstacles in your way, creating friction in your life just because they feel like they know how to create friction in your life, resistance, all of these things. Being given authority and not using it, it's kind of like having police officers standing around and it's still all kind of violence going on, and every time something happens in front of the police officer turns their back. See, if you're given authority, that means you have power and ability to take action for certain things, consequences, serving justice, just different things in life. But a lot of beings don't comprehend that power and authority, and they feel as though even though it's given to them, they're going to pass it back off like hot potato. That don't make any sense. If the Creator stuck me here, put me here, or I chose to come to this realm and I was given a certain kind of authority and power over certain entities, then it's my job to do my duties to the best of my abilities. A lot of people want to push it off to the Creator or the, you know, whatever religion that they follow, they pass it off to those other entities. And now my world, that's kind of being weak because you've been given it. You can actually read some of those religion books and it'll say that you've been given power and authority, and still yet a lot of people don't even want to follow the word. So that's when I just try to stick everybody to following natural law. You follow natural law, you know. We don't see nature and life running around out here bullying each other. That's not how it happens. Now, if one of them is hungry, one of them been hurt, one of them have been just left outside the pack and just had to survive, you know, it's different things because life do happen outside of there as well too. But nature doesn't operate on intimidation, domination, and demonic manipulation, because we do manipulate the environments to our liking. Kind of like this lake right here. Naturally formed, but also manually altered. It's manipulation. It manipulated the land so that way they can extend the water out a little bit more, or make it a little bit more people, quote unquote, friendly, because clearly we don't know how to operate in just regular things that just natural free flowing, even though we do, you know. So when you get to this place of understanding the authority that you've been given, that means that you have to use it. You have to use it. You've been given something spiritually, and you have to use it. If we was all standing as solid as we possibly could in these positions that we were all given, you know, everybody's been chosen to affect the world in a different way, in a different manner, to awaken people in a different light, in a different manner. But we all working for the same team and for the same cause. You know, that's why there's a captain, sergeant, and lieutenant. You don't get to know what the next ranking is doing until you move up. You can see what they're doing, but you won't actually get the credentials. You won't get to see all the different paperwork and things that they do when you move up. This is why when you are raising your awareness, you get access to more information. This is why we don't always just have easy access to it when we're younger. It's there, but we don't have access to it. If we had access to it, we wouldn't be in these positions we're in right now. You know? I know some people will say, oh, yo, you always have access to it. Well, no, we did not. That's just not how life is set up. You know? We are transitioning things to where now you will be able to access these things, because it's too many of us out here fighting this war the righteous way. Even if you are not a perfect being, you can still be fighting this war as righteously as you possibly can. But that means you also have to use that authority and that power that was set in place for you. You have to use that authority and power that was set in place for you, you know? And you have to be willing to lose it all to gain it all. You have to be willing to lose it all to gain it all. You have to be willing to start over. All of these things have to be taken into account, because we have to make sacrifices. Sacrifices are mandatory. So just get into a better understanding of minimizing the fear, because a lot of people who are in this walk of life and in this way of life have more fear attached into them than they want to give off. See, it's easy to say you're not fearful, but does your walk of life show that you're fearless, or that you've minimized as much fear as you possibly can? Because you can still be, you know, pretty brave, pretty powerful, and not be fearless. You just figured out how to push through the fear. Everybody wants to figure out how to remove the fear. No, it's how you push through the fear. Stop trying to process how to remove it. You know, you think if an officer was around a gang of people, because we done seen it in numerous situations, you can type it in right now. Like, usually they still try to do their job, even if it's 1 against 20. 1 against 30. They'll step in and try to figure something out, you know? And that's just on a lower physical level. That's not even, you know, what they're doing isn't even correlated to the actual real authority and power that you get and receive in the spiritual realm. You know, this is just them stepping in, being reactionary, and using their authority and powers that the physical realm has given them. And it's not the same, you know. We have to put some work in, you know, we have to put some work in. We have to put our feet down. And unfortunately, some of us have to understand that it's bigger than us. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. You know? Next month be a full year since my Nana has moved on to her next journey. My Nana was pretty solid in my eyes, you know. She always been there for me since I was young, since I was little. But when you experience so much life coming and going willingly and unwillingly, I've lost people that's been, I ain't gonna say lost people, I didn't lose them because we all gotta go. I've known people throughout my life that went and moved on to their next journey due to health issues, due to old age, and due to unwelcoming circumstances. You know, people getting shot, people getting stabbed, people coming, taking their own self up out of here. You know what I mean? Just, I've experienced and know a lot of that realm. So for me, it just makes more sense to stand more solid in my walk of life now and to kind of be mindful of the authorities and the powers that's been given. You have to remember, everybody is not as strong as you. Everybody is not walking the way that you do. Everybody is not going to be as solid. Everybody is not going to be as honest. Everybody is not going to be as truthful. That holds weight. I know you don't get paid for it and you don't see the financial gain behind having these characteristics or these values that you live by, but these hold way more weight and substance in the spiritual realm than doing any of this other weird shit will ever have. I've always understood these things. What happens is throughout life you gain more knowledge, understanding, and experiences, and then it puts you in a space of being able to share that knowledge and information. If you are a super reflective person, you know, some people reflect, they just aren't super reflective. When you are super reflective, you know, you reflect over every little thing that happens in your life. You know, you could have got up at 6 o'clock and by 12 o'clock, your body was feeling off. So now you go back to process, okay, what did I do last night? What did I eat last night? All right, I went to sleep around this time. I got some good rest. I woke up, you know, I had some water. I did brush my teeth, wash my face routine because I just showered last night. I didn't want to. You start running down a whole list of things to figure out why your body is feeling the way it feels, because you're just a super reflective being. And that's just you being you. That's not even using that same psychology behind you engaging with other beings. When you engage with other beings, you have the same process as well, you know? So we just gotta be mindful that we have to remove this fear. You are given a certain power and authority for a reason, and it's for you to use. Just like you were given 2 legs to use, you was given 2 hands, you know, 2 arms, 2 eyes. We are given these things. And I believe that the Creator didn't make a mistake. You know, I never got my tonsils removed because people said you could. I never got my wisdom teeth removed because people said you could. You know, all the parts that the Creator given me, I kept. Besides the skin on my meat, because I was little and they cut me up when I was little, you know. So outside of that, what I had control over was Gucci, you know what I mean? But we just got to keep these things in mind when we out here taking on these battles, because sometimes you put yourself in a position and you feel like, oh, well, I don't have the right to say that. I don't have the right to do that. I don't have the power or authority to do that. If you moving with the Creator and you've been walking this way of life for a long time, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And every time you don't use it when you're supposed to, you lose a little bit of it. And you lose a little bit more of it again, and a little bit more of it again. We're in the middle of a battlefield, so we need all the warriors, we need all our soldiers, we need all our healers, we need everybody in sync and on one accord, you know? But I ain't want to run it up too long. You are given a certain power and authority for a reason. I was given 2 hands and 2 feet, and I used them. I was given these 2 eyes. I used them. I was placed in this vessel. I use it. This vessel doesn't go with me my next journey and my next destination. This is the avatar that I get to wear while I'm here in this realm. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.